I catch a lot of flack when I tell someone that I voted for Trump, especially over on YouTube and other social media, because they immediately put me in a class of the deplorables and knuckle draggers or what have you. I saw this letter in a newspaper a couple of weeks ago where a guy wrote about Trump and why he voted for him. Didn't like him personally, but he voted for him for pragmatic reasons. I'm going to read the letter in its entirety because he really expresses what all of us, many of us, have expressed as to why we voted for Trump. The part where he says he would have voted for Satan if he had to. I've used that line myself, so I'll just read the letter to you. And it's by Ray Bigge, B-I-G-G-E, New Jersey. Ray says, "My darling daughter and only child disowned me months ago because I had the audacity to vote for President Donald Trump. Unfortunately, my kid has become a liberal snowflake. The Navy classified me with an IQ of 135, and I'm no fool in a voting booth or elsewhere. I agree with the anti-Trump people that Trump is a narcissist and probable sociopath. So what? When I voted, my goal was to keep emotion out of the equation because this is how the scientific thinking process works. This one-time physics major himself never lost that kind of thinking. As a civilian, I ultimately became the CEO of a company I founded, and I learned the intrinsic ways of business the hard way. As a Navy petty officer and eventual commissioned officer, I was trained extensively in the principles of leadership. I saw Trump as someone with stellar business skills and leadership to match. My vote was an objective decision, period. Business and leadership skills were what I voted for, not the man's malignant ego. President Barack Obama left the office with our enemies laughing at us and our allies having lost respect. Why? Because Obama was and is an ivory tower intellectual who thought diplomacy and dialogue would solve the world's problems. And it seemed to me that Hillary Clinton would have been a third Obama term. Now we have a tough guy in the Oval Office, and even our enemies are taking notice that this narcissistic New York street fighter means business. I would have voted for Satan as long as he had the business and leadership skills our country so desperately need. Trump haters would do themselves well to leave emotion out of the political mix and be doggedly objective. This is what scientific inquiry demands. And isn't this what our founding fathers wanted for journalism? End of letter. I couldn't have expressed it any better. Like I said, he's spoken for millions of us. But he refers to Trump as a sociopath, by the way. Most CEOs of businesses are sociopaths. They have sociopathic behavioral traits. Tom Hartman I think he wrote a book about it, The Business Sociopath or whatever. But he says he would have voted for Satan. He voted from an objective reason. The liberal press is going crazy with this thing about collusion, Russian collusion in interfering with our election and what have you. If you want to talk about collusion, just go back and remember how much they colluded to get Hillary elected. And they treated Trump in the same way they treated Sanders, albeit Sanders on a lower scale. But they basically went after Sanders too. And they attacked Sanders, and they treated him with scorn and a lot of lack of respect, even doing interviews. I remember Chris Matthews interviewing Sanders, not giving him a chance to talk. I mean, that's what the real collusion in this country is. But this letter really puts it perfectly. I don't like Trump personally. I think he can talk like a real asshole at times. I wish he would stop tweeting all, but he's the only one around that could get the job done in this country.